Apparently the song's called Canto della Verbena, which is why I didn't understand any of it. I put the link in the chat anyway.
I'm like super unorganized, so I can't change the window now, so I need to give this to you somehow. And I can't open WhatsApp for some reason, it won't open.
You need to give what to me?
The link for the stream to put in the chat, or in the Discord.
Can't I get that myself?
Yeah.
You can't open WhatsApp. Doesn't make any sense. Then again, that webcam thing that didn't make any sense either, but there it was. Like this webcam, you know when you plug a USB device in or unplug it, Windows makes a noise, doesn't it? Not for this webcam it doesn't.
No?
For every other webcam it does, not for this one. Did do yesterday, definitely, but not today.
Well, I don't know how these things work, and if you don't get it, I'm not going to try and figure out the problem. But as soon as you start telling me the problem, I'm like, oh my god, what can we do to troubleshoot here?
Oh, we're live, are we?
Yes, we are.
Good to know.
Sorry.
You play music?
I was playing Sean's song.
Oh, right, I was going to say, copyrighted. But no, obviously not.
No, I don't think his is, right? I should be okay unless he's going to strike me down.
100%, yeah. Oh my god, I've got the sound for the stream on, and that was confusing the balls out of me.
Yeah, you better mute that. That's not going to be fun for you. Anyways, welcome to the Waking Up Live, I guess. Hi. Are we all ready to freak out and panic? Because I'm not.
I'm touching my face, aren't I?
Yeah. I'm touching my face too. I can't help it. I've noticed since they've advised not to how much I actually touch my face.
No, I'm pretty good at not touching my face anyway, because I'm quite germ aware.
Yeah.
But in my own house, I'm the only one that lives here. So, well, my dog as well. But
that's how I feel at my house too. I'm at home. I don't.
No. I could just didn't say that. It's exactly the same for you. You live on your own.
Yeah.
If you've cleaned yourself while you're in your house, then you're pretty much going to be all right.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to get
I mean, as you said that, I touched my face, but like I said, I'm at home. I try my best to be cautious when I'm out in public, though, not to touch my face. And it's a really weird time right now, because last night, Victoria and I went to, by the way, we tried Popeye's chicken for the first time yesterday. We saw black people. What a shock. And
racist.
And I just tell myself, don't touch my face, but I remember I had to sneeze. And if you sneeze, whether you are sneezing your arm or sneezing into a tissue, people are just looking at you sideways. They're not comfortable with the fact that you are sneezing. You know what I mean?
I get that. People are understandably cautious, which is good. I'd rather they were cautious than they didn't give a fuck. Unfortunately, certainly from what I've observed, people are more likely to not give a fuck.
Yeah, especially with their kids running around and stuff. That's always a little bit freaky.
Ugh,
I know they say that
disease factories.
I know they say that kids aren't at high risk for this, but I was just listening to that SiriusXM podcast, and they were saying that they may not show symptoms, and children could be carriers of these things, and then they're going to their grandparents' house.
It's absolutely irrelevant for you and me that kids aren't affected by this.
Yeah.
Kids can catch it.
Yeah.
It's just they don't display symptoms to the same severity as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
They're just as capable of passing it on.
Yeah.
More so because kids are fucking disgusting.
Yes.
I mean, you know what?
Yeah. No need to get into how or why kids are disgusting, because they most definitely are.
They're disease factories. I had them described as such the other day, and that's accurate.
Yeah.
Like, since my sister had kids, she's never not had a cold.
Yeah.
Ever. And there are kids that haven't got to school yet. Disgusting.
They haven't even gone to school yet.
Oh, it's fucking rank.
That is rank. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty grossed out by adults who are sick too, so I totally understand when people have a reaction to me if I sneeze or cough or anything. I'm not too concerned about people being grossed out because I think that's just a like survivability thing. Nobody wants to get ill or be ill, and they want to be away from anybody who they can get ill from. You know what I mean? That's why hospitals are kind of gross, right? You go and you just feel sick. It's just full of sick people and sickly people.
Doctors' waiting rooms. Ew.
Ew. That was my biggest concern about all this. So I didn't go into work the last 2 days because I wasn't feeling entirely well. I've had this, it's just felt like a low grade cold for, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks where I just wake up sniffly and by the end of the day, I'm totally fine. But right now, everybody's on lockdown and saying, if you have even a little bit of a cold symptom, please don't come into the office. We don't want, remember that email I showed you?
Mm-hmm.
Like the concerns of COVID amidst everybody are just getting more and more. We're all getting hyper vigilant to it. So any little risk is not worth it at this point. And I think just to keep the panic at bay, it's probably the best way to go. To be honest.
The thing is, for me personally, and it is only me personally, that's pretty much what I'm like anyway. Mm-hmm. I don't want any of those. I've not had a cold or anything like that for years, and I don't want one. Thank you very much.
Robert White said, I purposely cough on the bus. Well, that's kind of rude. But there it is. It's the COVID cough. People are going crazy around the world a little bit. I mean, did you watch that full thing, the full address that Trudeau did yesterday?
Yeah, well, I mean, I watched most of it, and I was being sarcastic in the live stream chat.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that.
Well, I tell you what, I learned something about Canada yesterday.
What's that?
Holy shit, the press conferences are annoying.
Yeah.
Like, really annoying.
Yeah.
So they ask a question in English, answer it in English, then ask the same question again in French and answer it again in French.
Yep.
But the French translator either doesn't speak French that well, or the words that they use in French are different from English because the answers aren't always the same.
No.
It's like...
No, the languages are different in the sense that they're obviously structured differently. So sometimes it takes way longer to say something, and sometimes it can be shorter.
Anybody in Canada who doesn't speak English?
I mean, the Quebecs, the Quebecois.
Do they not speak English, or do they just not want to?
I mean, it's probably more the latter. Quebec is just kind of like that. Yeah. They're cunts.
I don't know. It was a very... From my anglicised point of view, it was just very difficult to take it that seriously.
Yeah.
Because it's like, now you're switching to another language and I've got to fucking basically walk away for 3 minutes while you say what you just said.
And the speech is like, when he was addressing, he'll like read one part of the speech in English or whatever and then do it in French. Sometimes they do it that way. Or he'll say his entire spiel in English and then go back and then say the entire spiel in French. Which I guess, it's not like they go English and then Spanish in America. You know what I mean? Even though those are the two languages that they speak there. English is still the main language. As
English
it should be.
The main language in Canada, isn't it? By
yes.
significant margin, I believe.
So there's that. Canada is interesting right now. I don't think there's... They keep saying it's low risk, and I do believe that, and I do think... over here, it's being blown a little bit out of proportion just by people, and I think you can always count on the public to kind of blow things out of proportion. I think the panic at the moment is a worse virus than the virus itself.
Sure, I agree. I do agree, but I also think that in saying that, you also, I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying you do risk minimizing it as well.
Of course, yeah.
So. Yes, I agree that the panic is stupid. The toilet roll thing.
Oh my God. Can we talk about the toilet paper?
I don't get it.
So, I mean, the way that I've kind of thought about it in my head is, okay, people are going to
This is worth more than gold right now.
Yeah. There are going to be several people many people are going to be self-quarantining. They're going to stay home. They don't want to have to leave their houses. So they're stocking up on things that are easy to cook, I guess, and also stocking up on all the fucking toilet paper, because if you're not going to leave the house, I guess everybody's going to be shitting in the house, so you don't want to run out of toilet paper. That's kind of what the only thing that makes sense to me about it.
Sure, but I mean, isn't that a consideration under normal circumstances?
I mean, I would think so, but for most of the day, we're all out, right? So if people are not going to work, and if people are not going out in public, they're obviously not using the bathroom in public or at work, so they're going to be home more, meaning they're going to use more toilet paper than they usually would. And if everybody's staying home, well, I'm just being charitable, okay? I think it's fucking stupid that people bought out all the toilet paper, because I could not get the toilet paper that I fucking wanted.
I mean, as I understand it, the psychology behind it goes something like: you need toilet paper. It's a sort of hallmark of our sort of modern civilization, and more to the point, it's in big containers, it's light to carry, and people buy things that stand out to them.
Yeah, maybe. And also, toilet paper is on sale everywhere right now. So that's what's crazy too. Like, whether you're at Costco, Save on Foods, Superstore, it is fucking on sale. So I think I was telling you, right, when I went to the store yesterday to just pick up a few groceries and pick up toilet paper, because I also needed it, just because I'm like, every time I get down to about 6 rolls, I feel it's pertinent to go out and buy some. So I go and do that. And my toilet paper isn't there. I sent you a picture, right, of all the shelves. They're all gone. Everybody's taken everything. I went up to the cashier and she told me, she's like, yeah, it's been crazy here. We've emptied out the back room. And by the end of the day, we're expecting to have no toilet paper. And we're not getting stock, I think, for the next couple days. So, yeah.
As I understand it, in this country, the situation's not quite that grave in that there's plenty of toilet paper. But I suppose it's very similar.
Yeah.
The main problem is getting it into the shops fast enough currently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting seeing just what's happening around. I've been listening to... Everybody is talking about this right now. I think that's obviously We Are, every SiriusXM podcast I've been listening to is kind of talking about the coronavirus and what's happening in their state and what they're seeing around them. And right now in the States, and I think especially here, they're recommending closing down any large gathering kind of events or venues. The NBA has canceled their games. Disney World,
pretty much all major sporting events are cancelled.
Yep. Disney World and Disneyland have closed down.
I know the UFC events tonight are still going ahead, but with no crowd, just like an empty room with some people fighting.
Yeah, but the other thing is, so there was an NBA player that was confirmed to have a case, right? So it's probably just not a good idea to play the games either. It's probably just best not to.
It's not that asshole who wasn't taking it seriously at all, and he was actually on camera, like in front of the press, fucking, wiping himself all over everything.
I think so.
Then he actually turned out to be positive, and his teammates, or some of his teammates anyway, also turned out to be positive, and it was probably his fault.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's I don't think it's definitely not a good thing to make a joke about it. I mean,
not in that way.
Not in that way. But I don't think it's funny to be walking around and be like,
that's fine. I'm only affecting me. Yeah. I'm in my house. Yeah, I know I'm clean. I know that I'm probably all right. But I do understand that once I'm out there in the world, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, exactly.
But apparently Spain has just, within the past few hours, I think, not completely shut its borders, but no airline from the UK will fly to Spain currently. And there was planes in the air going to Spain from the UK, and they actually turned around the flight and came back, which I've never heard of that before.
So Jay messaged me this morning and said they have 7 confirmed cases in Cyprus and that they've locked down the country.
Jay's in complete fucking denial. Cyprus is way worse off than that. Would you like the actual stats for Cyprus?
Yes. Let's do this. Let's go through the
Cyprus
numbers.
has 21 confirmed cases. In the past day, they've got 7 more confirmed cases.
Oh, so you got...
So Cyprus... So the stats that I'm using is the total cases per million population, which Cyprus has only got about 1 million people. But so Cyprus is currently sitting at 17.4 cases per million, whereas the UK, which is also not great, is at about 11.8.
Yeah.
So it's comparatively not as bad in the UK, and I'd say it's pretty bad. Canada isn't doing too bad at all.
No, we've only got I believe the last I saw, we only have 140 cases in the entire country.
Let's see if that's true. No, incorrect. 200.
Oh, it's gone up since yesterday. Because yesterday on the news they said 140.
I mean, as far as I can see, and this, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a statistician, but this is my understanding of it. Sort of continental America is a few weeks behind where Europe is. Europe, in terms of how severe the outbreak is, Europe is about a month behind where China was. So we're seeing recovery in China now. You would hope that in 3 or 4 weeks you would start to see recovery in Europe, but not before you see it get substantially worse.
Yep. I am not opposed to the idea of just temporarily closing borders at the moment. It just seems like the smart thing to do. They've yesterday it was recommended to, if you, I can't even English right now, don't engage in non-essential travel. If you don't need to leave the country, don't do it. The CDC is saying if you want to travel, go ahead with your travel plans. But I mean, I don't think I would feel comfortable going anywhere right now. You just don't know, right? This thing is too challenging to track. You don't know. Washington State, I believe, is in a state of emergency. I mean, the entire country of America is in a state of emergency. Only a day after Trump said everything was fine, by the way.
I know. Well, I think in fact, I think a lot of people have been having words in Trump's ear. Like, this isn't as fine as you think it is. I mean, the United States of America's, obviously you know which America I mean, their stats don't look particularly bad, but when you factor in that the USA has not been anywhere near as attentive when it comes to testing for the disease as pretty much any other country, it sort of throws all the stats for the USA into doubt. I don't know what Canada is like with regards to that. I'm guessing they're better, given that in Canada you don't have to pay for things like that as a person, whereas in America you do.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do, but wasn't it funny you were saying something about how is America about to admit that they can provide healthcare for their entire population right now?
But it turns out they're actually stopping short of that, aren't they? No, they're not. But they are. Yeah, they have tacitly kind of like admitted that yes, they probably could if they wanted to, which they might have to.
Yeah, it's not going to be manageable if they don't just.
It depends really. If they're bothered about a relatively higher rate of death and serious effects compared to other places, then they will have to do something about that. Otherwise, they're just gonna sort of. But it is worth bearing in mind that most people who contract this, who do test positive for this, are absolutely fine.
Yeah. I don't like the idea of like just the media is making it so difficult for people to do their jobs. So the greatest example I have is obviously CNN. Amidst all the election stuff that's happening and, the debates and all that crap, this coronavirus thing started. Isn't it interesting? We have heard nothing about the elections since this coronavirus stuff.
dude, right, right. You know that all the news has been about in the UK for 2 years.
Yeah.
Brexit.
Yeah, yeah.
Brexit. Then we left the EU, still talking about Brexit because now we're negotiating our trade deal with the
Yes.
EU. Brexit. Coronavirus. I haven't heard Brexit mentioned for like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Nothing.
Yep.
It's like it's happening. It's so strange.
Yeah, every other story has been wiped off the map, and it's all about Corona now. And you know what's super frustrating is this is CNN has like 5 million tickers all over their screens, right? So what happened is, I think it was a week and a half ago or so, where they were saying that there was one case in New York. Now the way that they were reporting this one case in New York is there is now an outbreak in New York. There was no cluster of the actual virus had happened. Just one person had been confirmed, and they're calling it an outbreak. Now imagine as a layman watching the news and just seeing the word outbreak.
I mean, when was this? Because New York State's one of the worst affected in the US, isn't it?
This was like a couple weeks ago. I'm not talking about recent. It's worse. But when it was the first case that they confirmed from New York, they call it an outbreak. Not an outbreak could possibly occur. Not now the potential for outbreak is greater, but now there is an outbreak. If one person isn't an outbreak, or that's definitely not the language you should be using.
I agree. However, I think in the case of the United States, it's not really unreasonable. Because that is what it's going to turn into without adequate containment, which there's no way that the US or any other country really, it turns out, has.
No country seems
it's not like the UK has crowned itself in glory containing this.
Yeah. But I think that's going to be difficult. And I think it's... So in the very beginning when this happened, I kind of had a bit of a contentious conversation with a friend because I said, you know what they should have done right away. As soon as they found out that this happened in Wuhan and China had this issue, they should have locked China down immediately and stopped travel in and out. And I think people think that's kind of rude, right?
Didn't Trump do that to the United States?
I just mean in general. Like, as soon as we identified this as a problem that was spreading so quickly, and it's not to be mean.
Okay. Well. I mean, here's the issue with that.
Okay.
There's been outbreaks like this that have occurred in recent, memory, like SARS, like MERS. They've all come from China, and they've all kind of petered out on their own. There was no way at the time to predict exactly, what the spread would be because nobody really knew. And I think you can put some of the blame on China for that because China denied it was happening.
Yeah.
And now they're not. Now I think they're kind of with the program, but again, China wants to do business. I mean, they didn't want to do anything that would hurt business, but
of course.
In the end, obviously, it turned out that them lying was hurting their business a lot more than telling the truth would have done. So.
Of course. And now it's so funny. You're seeing all these odd articles from these stupid-ass people who are like, oh, China's saying American soldiers brought Wuhan here. Oh, American soldiers brought freaking... Like...
At this stage, I would say it's irrelevant. I mean,
yeah, it's super irrelevant.
Playing the blame game, I mean, yeah, all right, China might have fucked up.
Yeah.
Yes, they might have done. They probably did. In fact, China did fuck up, but we are where we are. There's, what you going to do? Sue China?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? At this point, let's just think about what we need to do to take care of the problem.
Looking at the way this particular disease works, I would say that they would have lost control of it anyway. It would have got out anyway. As soon as it gets into... I mean, bear in mind, the stats that we've got, the stats that we're looking at, are only the cases that are reported. The vast majority of people who have this thing have cold or mild flu-like symptoms and fucking recover and go about their day.
Yeah. I mean, I worry about that too because, like I said, I've been sick for a few weeks. I've been just presenting mild symptoms. What if I have it and it's just not that big of a deal? Obviously, I don't think I do. I would have passed it to Victoria or whatever. But, you know.
I mean, how do you know you haven't?
Yeah, that's true. And she was here like a week and a half ago, and she was just so sick. I didn't know she was so sick, and she came over. I didn't catch it from her because I already had the mild symptoms I had before she came. So I don't know. Right now, it's just trying to keep everything chilled out and not add to the panic and hysteria that I think people have.
I would probably be more nervous where you are than where I am, or in Cyprus, because Washington State is
very not good. It's very not good.
It's the worst. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's the worst state in America in terms of the effect of this, isn't it?
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that. I thought New York was. That's what I was under the impression of.
No. Not from the map I looked at yesterday. Anyway,
okay.
But basically, right where you are, that's the bad. Like the Canadian borders and the Canadian health system apparently is all that's keeping it at bay for you right now.
Yeah, so I'm not...
Which is nice.
I'm not super uncomfortable with the idea of just temporarily closing the border between America and Canada just because I'm 20 minutes away from Washington, and frankly, whatever is going to reduce the potential of the spread of this thing, I'm okay with. It's not forever. It's not because we're racist. It's not because we hate Americans. It's not because we hate anybody. It's just because we want to keep our populations healthy, and we just want to prevent the spread of something that is seemingly aggressively spreading. You know what I mean? Like the cases seem to double over a day.
I was having this conversation with Jay earlier. I personally am of the opinion that at this stage, anywhere closing its borders, like Cyprus has done today, what if the disease is in? It's too late.
I guess so.
You're closing the stable door after the horse has bolted, kind of thing.
Okay, so there's over 100 cases in Washington State.
Mm-hmm. Which is, like you said, 20 minutes away from where you are right now.
Yeah. And I was also telling you that travel is very frequent at that border. People from BC are always going into Washington and vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, effectively, Canada and America are, for all intents and purposes, the same country.
Mm-hmm.
As far as this fucking virus is concerned, anyway, I'm absolutely astonished Canada hasn't got it worse. But I think it'll probably be consumer with the American states below it. To be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I would guess if I was a betting man, I would guess that Ontario and BC are probably going to get hit quite hard by it.
Yeah, right.
Relatively.
As it stands right now, Ontario and BC are the provinces with the highest cases of the coronavirus, and
well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Because of Washington and New York.
And Ontario is doing its due diligence to close down public schools. They're thinking of extending that spring break. Trudeau was talking yesterday about a fiscal stimulus package. EI, Employment Insurance, has sent major businesses notice letting them know that if anybody is sick, please advise them to stay home. And they are able to apply for employment insurance, no questions asked, to get compensated for the time that they're missing from work. So I think that as difficult and challenging and unpredictable as this may be as of now, we are trying to do our best just to manage and mitigate the detriments.
Yeah, bear in mind, we both live in sort of very well developed first world Western countries. We, maybe not us personally, but we as a people will be fine.
Yeah.
But once you see this maybe get a hold in somewhere, I'll be interested, if that's the right word to use, to see how this affects a country like, say, India.
Yeah.
Which doesn't have many cases yet, but it has reported cases now.
Yeah.
The public health infrastructure in somewhere like India.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be rough. We are very lucky. I have been kind of keeping up and trying to listen to if there's any kind of vaccine that's on the rise or what's happening, and it's going to be a while before anything is really sorted on that. But
there's no vaccine.
No.
Despite what glorious President Trump says, no.
I know.
There is no vaccine. There isn't likely to be a vaccine within the next 12 months. You're probably talking more like 18 or 24 months.
Yeah, so that's what the doctors are saying.
It's a little bit more realistic.
Yeah.
That from the medical professionals that I've actually spoken to, it's not going to be. There's just no chance in the next year.
No.
Just no way. No, it's not going to happen.
No, absolutely not. They have to sequence this thing, and the doctors I was listening to were talking about an RNA vaccine, which is like a different approach.
Well, they have actually sequenced it already, but they just need to figure out how to kill it.
Right. What bothers me is countries are saying different things, like they're not talking, so we have no idea who to believe. I think that's going to happen. I think everybody's going to respond how they feel appropriate. Like we said, right?
What do you mean saying different things, though? Most Western countries, anyway, are kind of saying the same thing about the virus itself. They're having different reactions to it, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily a matter of who to believe and who not to believe, because different countries are in different situations, both sort of demographically, socially, a whole raft of, differences that we might alter the way that you respond to, a situation like this. Like, for instance, Canada is a massive, massive country with about 4 people in it. So the people are very spread out, which helps. So the places where you have to worry the most in Canada are dense population centres like Vancouver, like Toronto. What's that fucking capital of yours called?
Ottawa.
There we go, that one. Yeah, exactly. So, and apart from that, you're probably like BC, for instance, will probably be all right, apart from Vancouver.
Yeah.
Which, who'd want to live there?
I know. You know what? I don't think the population is actually as spread out as you think, because 90% of it lives within a 20-mile radius of the border.
No, sure. I understand that, but like the bits in between those dense population centres, which admittedly is where most of the people are, they'll be all right.
Yeah, you're right.
Probably. Or largely.
Yeah. And it is uncomfortable because, I was talking to Tails the other day about this, right? And he was like, I don't know, shouldn't you be kind of worried and like freaking out? Like, shouldn't you be going out in a hazmat suit? Kind of like, why aren't you freaking out? Because, all I can do is do my due diligence when I'm out in public. Wash my hands, not touch my face, not touch things. That's the best I can do. I don't want to walk out in a hazmat suit. But if the government says, hey, I think if you're going to go out, wear a hazmat suit, maybe then I will do it. But until then, I'm just going to live normal, like.
The thing is, there's a difference between saying go out in a hazmat suit coming from an official source and freaking out. Freaking out is never going to help anybody in any situation ever. Just doesn't.
No,
it's not a thing. Like, there was a public health official for the UK on the radio the other day, and he was saying, "I don't think people are anxious enough." Like, what? Like, people's levels of anxiety are neither here nor there, nor are they helpful.
No.
Being cautious, absolutely.
Yeah.
Being informed, completely important, but being anxious, not helpful.
Not at all.
Not helpful at all.
So, yeah, of course. You can still hear me though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think... I understand people's concern. And this is the same thing doctors keep saying too, is... Yes, there is cause for concern. Be concerned. But panic is never the right response to this kind of issue, because nothing helps to add to the hysteria and anxiety that people are already going to have, thinking that when someone coughs or sneezes around them, they might catch some unpredictable, not entirely familiar virus that we're not equipped to deal with. We already understand the problem. We understand we're running out of supplies. We understand that we can't test everybody. We understand that this is going to be so intense on the medical system. It's going to be such a strain. The last thing that whole thing needs is the panic from everybody else. But the thing is, it's being induced by the media. You know what I mean? Anybody who's watching the news right now, how can you not feel freaked out when they're running the cycle 24/7 and they're making it, oh, look, a case has popped up here now. Yeah, that's going to happen. It's not a surprise when cases are popping up or it's getting worse. We're trying to mitigate the problem. And unless we are able to just chill the fuck out and let scientists do their thing and let people just do their thing and not make a big deal out of it, though we can still be concerned, that negotiation has to be made. I don't know, like, how do you induce that kind of idea into the public where it's like, please don't panic. You know, there's like, did you see the video of that kid, of that woman lysoling her child when he was coming back from school? Like, what are you doing?
It was a man, wasn't it? Oh, the one I saw was, anyway.
Well, there was a man, and there was also a woman was talking about doing it too, because she's like, I don't want my kids coming home with no fucking virus or whatever. And I was like, Jesus Christ, like,
spraying them with fucking antiseptic, not helpful.
No, not at all. And you know, it's really difficult right now to get supplies. So at Shaw, we've been having a little bit of difficulty. N95 masks are very difficult. And the thing that people don't understand is those masks, those N95 masks, they're great for particulates. Viruses are much smaller than particulates. And they can get into the mask. If you have it, and you want to protect the world from getting your spew on stuff, then great. That's more useful in that sense, but it's not going to protect you from it. Not in the way people think it is. And if you're not going to put it on properly, and if you're going to touch it anyway, it's not going to prevent you from getting it.
I think the N95 masks of which you speak are actually, effective. If used properly.
Yeah.
But as you say, if you're fucking like, have you seen that fucking video of that guy on the subway, and he's wearing a mask, and then I don't know, he didn't like the mask, so he pulls it down with his hands.
Oh, and then he touches
the pole.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you even wearing the mask for?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand. I think now is also the time where people are going to do stupid shit to have a viral video. There are so many stupid
One second, I need to let my dog out. Just
sure.
Bear with me.
I'll say hi to the chat. I see Brian is here. Hi, Brian. Good morning, guys. What is everybody's issue or opinion about this? Are y'all freaking out? I don't think it's a good idea to freak out. I certainly do not. I think everybody's doing their best with what they've got. I think you have to just follow your basic hygiene practices, wash your hands, and, don't touch your face when you're out in public. You can be a little bit more lenient when you're at home in your own space with no one else around. It's a little easier to be inconsiderate when you're at home, but when you're out in public, which you should do anyways, be more cautious about what you're touching your face, keeping your hands clean, use hand sanitizer, and you want antimicrobial hand sanitizer. Antibacterial is not going to work.
People not understanding the fucking difference in bacteria and viruses drives me fucking spare.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like somebody said that. Well, I was watching somebody used hand sanitizer to kill the bacteria.
Yeah.
No. I mean, yeah, it might kill the bacteria. Find out how to help you in this situation, though.
So we actually received. We have been advised to order hand sanitizer and just make sure that it is stocked up. Of course, due to the nature of just everything that's happening around, and a lot of the companies supplying this stuff for corporations that are just getting, pretty much orders left, right, and center for this hand sanitizer. We've been ordering it, and technicians are taking that stuff And they're not taking what they need, of course. People are just grabbing as much sanitizer as they possibly can.
Do you want a quick life hack for hand sanitizer?
I do.
You don't need hand sanitizer
Use
because
regular
what is
soap.
hand sanitizer? No. Well, yeah, well, quite. But if you want hand sanitizer, which in certain situations is more convenient, more useful, the active ingredient in a hand sanitizer is what?
Alcohol.
Class. Specifically,
Ethyl alcohol.
isopropyl alcohol, actually.
Isopropyl. Oh, okay.
There's no problem getting isopropyl alcohol. I bought some the other day.
Yeah.
I use it for cleaning CPUs and stuff off.
Yeah.
The thermal compound. So I've actually got bottles of isopropyl alcohol that I did not buy for this purpose.
Yeah.
But it's actually medical grade isopropyl alcohol. And yeah, you can make your own hand sanitizer. So it's not a problem.
Yeah, it's not. And like everywhere
Probably
has
stop.
it.
Once people actually fucking start to understand that, I'm sure you won't be able to buy that either, but still.
But that's kind of what's happening now is you're going to places, you're seeing companies let us know, hey, we're running low on this. You know what I mean? And the company is now shifting around PPE, so personal protective equipment. And I just feel like, in the past couple of weeks, we've received a lot of emails about hand washing practices, about hygiene practices, about we're trying to manage the COVID thing, and please ensure that you're stocked up with hand sanitizer and chemical resistant gloves and N95 masks and whatever you can get. Like, we haven't been able to order N95 masks for quite some time, just because as soon as this scare started and that's so awesome, I want one of those.
Not very, very practical or useful.
No, but also super cool.
It's a proper like plague mask, and we use these for. This is actually the reason I have this is for cleaning out computers for dust.
Dust, yeah.
It's a dust mask.
I like that. That's so cool. I'm a bit of an isopropyl alcohol snob. I only use 93 single malt. Very nice, Mr. Pickles.
You're not meant to drink it, Matthew.
I mean, I don't know about where you are, because you don't go out much, right? Like, you're not spending much time outside except for work. What's happening with the university? You were saying they were thinking of shutting down, or?
I don't know.
No.
I'm honestly of the opinion that they probably should.
Yeah.
But that hasn't happened yet. And there's no mandate for them to do that either. Mm-hmm. There's no evidence that would actually be in any way helpful at this current time. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's nothing's happening with universities yet, basically. But the rumor flying around the campus is that they are looking to potentially shut down in a week or two.
Okay. Oh, well, I think I don't know.
Which will be nice. I mean, it'll be a few weeks off work for me.
Yep. I don't know. I think it's for the better. I think that just the shutting down of large gathering events and all these things are good, if not to curtail the virus, but obviously yes, but just to curtail public panic and assuage it a little bit. You know what I mean? So if they're forcing closed all these things, they can at least try their best to manage it getting any worse, especially places like Disney World, Disneyland.
That seemed like a good call to me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little bit premature, but maybe not. I don't honestly know.
But
I
here's the
hate
thing,
my
too.
dog. I'm gonna have to go and let it in.
That's
I can
okay.
probably still hear you. Just carry on talking.
Okay. We're in a state where things are changing so quickly, and we're trying to keep up. I mean, in a 24-hour period, Trump went from this is fine, everything is fine, while everything is burning around him, and then the next day declaring a national state of emergency. So I think it's just better to be aware of the problem and at least make it look like it's being managed, just to assuage the panic. I think that's important to do. I think when there's so many people involved and people are concerned for their health and people are concerned for all this kind of stuff, you just don't want to, you do not want to feed into the thing and make it look like it is just taken care of. And I like that. I prefer that a lot better. Chris, will you come back? Chris! Chris! Anyways, so yeah, I've been looking at the numbers. I'm not super concerned myself. And I don't think anybody who's going to approach this reasonably is going to be super freaked out by anything that is happening regarding this COVID-19 thing. Pierre Elliott Trudeau. Justin Trudeau came out yesterday and he addressed everybody. His wife has confirmed to have it. They've been self-isolating for quite some time. Probably not the worst idea for world leaders to be self-isolating. One of my friends told me yesterday that the Prime Minister of Brazil has it. You know?
I'm back.
Hi. So you didn't hear any of that?
I heard some of it up to a point, and then I think it's my fucking wireless router downstairs really don't like these headphones.
Yeah.
So it just fucking cut you off entirely.
That's okay. I was just talking about, I don't even remember now. It slipped my mind. Trudeau's wife has now been confirmed with a case of COVID. And, I think they've been self-isolating for a while, Justin Trudeau and Sophie Trudeau and their family. Not the worst thing. I think it's a good thing. We got to keep the world leaders safe because they are the people who are going to communicate with everybody else about what's happening. They are the people that we're going to listen to, that need to come out and be calm. Like, you saw that chat yesterday, right? When we were watching the CBC broadcast together yesterday, just like people going crazy. Hey, stupid clown, shut the borders. What are you doing? You don't even care about Canadians. Rah, rah, rah. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't care about Canadians. His wife is ill with COVID. And he's still coming out here and he's maintaining a pretty calm demeanor and just telling everybody, look, we're handling the best we can. People freaking out and oh my God. And then my favorite are all the repent messages. Repent to Jesus.
Yeah, so well, what do you expect? And yes, this Dances in Undies says we've got to save Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah, right. Somebody messaged Chet Hayes, or his fucking son, who's a rapper. That's his rapper name, Chet Hayes. And they told him, I wish you got COVID instead of your dad. I don't know if you know anything about Chet Hayes, but he's one of these like wigger kids, like you would not expect him to be Tom Hanks' son, is what I'm getting at.
I know. I saw the video of him on Instagram of him, saying his kid, his father was all right and blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. So, and I was quite surprised at what it looked like.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Pretty funny.
Just see if there's any breaking news. Apparently, UK coronavirus death double in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, I see Penny. Oh, she can't hear me. She doesn't like my voice. I remember. So, World Map CDC. Locations with confirmed COVID-19 cases by World Health Organization region. Yo, that's pretty crazy. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. Of course, they're going to be in all these places. Who was telling me that they were at Mecca? They were like licking the walls and stuff in defiance of this virus.
I don't know if it was Mecca. It might have been Mecca. It was some fucking Muslim
mosque
thing,
or something.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
To which I respond, "Hey, go ahead, sweetheart."
I was gonna say, like, whatever. You're obviously not the best and the brightest, are you?
So many comedians have been talking about this as well, saying, you know what, we're not going to cancel our shows. We're not going to cancel Skankfest. We're not going to cancel any of the things that we have going on our tour. And then the next day, you see all the Instagram posts from all these comedians saying, I'm canceling my shows. We have to be aware, like, we just can't do these large gathering things and we need to postpone just because we don't want to be responsible, right, for spreading something by having the thing that they're saying you shouldn't do that will increase the potential of the spread of this thing. So all these things are going to be canceled now. Skankfest, which is a huge thing that we're going to do this year, they've postponed that as well. And I'm still of the mind that it's a good way to go. It's a good thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't know, and unlike a lot of people, I do, because I've got no choice, but I do trust that the people who are in charge are getting advice from experts.
Scientists, doctors, yeah.
And that's why I see people who are like, for my government, people who are criticising the response of my government, like, say, well, you don't know, basically. Clearly, you are not an expert.
Yeah.
Now, neither is Boris Johnson, but I bet you he's fucking listening to people that are.
Yes. Well, they want to take care of their health, right? And they have the resources. They have the people that they can go to get good advice because of their position in life. So, I don't know. I think that they're good to listen to.
Lots of people have fucking jumped all over Boris Johnson because he said that to, get over this, what's going to have to happen eventually is that this virus is going to have to hit something like 60% of the population, so we can get some sort of herd immunity going to it. And everybody was criticising him for that. Because, so you say, so your plan is to just let people get infected. Like,
that's going to happen anyway.
No, exactly. Thank you. Exactly. They're going to get infected anyway. What he's saying is control the rate of that infection, control the level of effect that those infections have, and spread it out over as much time as possible, so that the health service can cope with that level of infection. There isn't a massive, peak in demand that it can't cope with,
right?
And that way, because it's here now, there's nothing that can be done about it.
Right.
It will touch most people's lives in one way or another. It just will. And in the vast majority of cases, that will be a relatively benign touching.
Yeah.
So, I understand what he said. And to be honest, for a politician, I think actually saying something like that is fairly fucking refreshing, to be honest, because at least it's honest. Like, this is lots of people are going to have to get infected with this, but we're going to try and make it as all right as we possibly can.
Of course.
And what else can you say, really?
What else can you do? What else can you do?
Exactly.
Nothing. And I just, like, there's always a resistance to something like this, right? That's bad, and it's easy to just blame someone. That's why we start getting into the, oh, this is all fucking China's fault, that this is all whoever's fault. This is a bioweapon. You know, all those people are out there too, right? This is a fucking bioweapon that China has manufactured and just sent out of Wuhan. No, assholes. Like, whatever the reason is doesn't matter. We have a problem to deal with. Let's just manage our reaction to the problem. That's what's more important, because that reaction is so essential. It's more important than the way the virus is reacting, because the reaction just fucking, it ripples through the population and causes this hysteria. And, like, you just have a little cough, and the jokes going around the warehouse are like, do you have COVID? You have COVID? You should not be here if you're fucking coughing. And I'm like, stop.
Whenever anybody has a little cough at work, that's exactly what we do.
Yeah. You got COVID? I'm like, no, I have COVID. Leave me alone.
Isn't that kind of bread? Oh, never mind.
Is it?
Hovis is a bread in the UK. I'm sure it's not in Canada.
How to prepare. How it spread. So symptoms and testing. That was a cute thing a cute thing. I don't know why I said cute. That was something that was mentioned in this podcast that I've been listening to, is that it takes about an hour to do the swab, and I believe it takes you can only do about 7 tests in a day. And that's working around the clock as a nurse. Like, Tim Dillon did an episode yesterday. He spoke to a nurse from New York, and that's what she said. Like, it takes an hour or so to do just the swab, and then you can only complete 7 tests a day. It takes a while to get this kind of stuff properly tested for. And
Are you talking about in America?
Yeah, in New York, particularly.
Yeah, I was going to say, because South Korea seemed to have been doing a little bit better.
Yeah, hey, what's the deal with that? So I've only heard about South Korea dealing with this, and I hear they're doing great with it. So why aren't they sharing their technique? What's happening?
Well, their technique isn't a secret.
Yeah, so what is the deal? Like, how are they more efficient? How are they doing it? What is different from them than anybody else who has the capability of conducting the same tests?
No, nothing.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
most Western countries are doing similar things to what South Korea's done, with the exception of the United States of America.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear their testing is not good.
Y'all gonna die.
Y'all gonna die. So they were saying that people who have pre-existing health conditions are obviously at most risk or have compromised immune systems. That means all the fat people, the people who have obesity issues and heart issues and all that kind of stuff are going to be the ones most likely affected should the virus get that far. I am not even that upset about it. You know, like I had this conversation with my boss, right? With my scientist boss, and I'm like, this may sound cold and people are freaking out because people are going to die, but sorry guys, like people just die. Like 150,000 people last year died of the flu, right? I think it was last year, not in the States, like in total it was some crazy high number like that. I mean low number in comparison to the population.
Yeah. That is, I mean, that's a misleading statistic, to be honest. So when you're talking about this disease, you're talking about one disease.
Right.
You know, the COVID-19, a specific disease. When you say however many people died from the flu...
Oh, influenza particularly.
Even when you say that, it's that all influenza all flu is a shortening of the word influenza. When you're talking about that, you're talking about a lot of viruses.
Yeah, that's true.
Way more than one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if you take that into account, then this thing is worse.
Yeah.
Not terrible. I mean, it's not like the worst thing, but it's not. It isn't flu. People keep saying it's just a bad flu. It fucking isn't. That's wrong. If you think that, then you're wrong. You're in denial.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean it's a disaster either.
Right.
So relax, calm down, no need to panic. But it isn't flu, and stop saying it is, because it isn't. Mm-hmm. It has similar symptoms to the flu. That doesn't make it flu, unfortunately.
Right.
It's a very specific, strain of a very specific virus,
which is the COVID virus, which has been around.
The coronavirus. It is a coronavirus, yeah. And so for instance, SARS and I think MERS as well, definitely SARS. That was a coronavirus.
I think MERS was as well.
Was it? Okay. Yes. I thought it was.
Yes.
So that's not to minimize any of those other things, but when people say to put stuff into perspective, like, oh, more people are killed in car crashes each year. Well, sure they are. That is true. But you can always not get into a car. What the very interesting thing about this is you can catch it just by going down to the local shop and getting a loaf of bread.
Yeah. It incubates for a while.
And that could kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Could do. Not very likely to. Very, very unlikely to. It's incredibly unlikely to, especially if you're healthy. But it could kill you. Yeah. And again, people say it only kills old people and people with pre-existing conditions. Well, no, that's not true either. It mainly kills old people.
Yeah, mainly is the word there.
But there's plenty of examples of healthy young adults being killed by this at this stage.
Yeah.
It does happen.
Manage anxiety and stress. Let's see, what do they say? The outbreak of coronavirus disease may be stressful for people and communities, which, by the way, stress and cortisol in the system is not a good way to help your immune system along and protect you from anything. It weakens your immune response. But anyways, fear and anxiety about a disease can be overwhelming and cause strong emotions in adults and children. Everyone reacts differently to stressful situations. The emotional impact of an emergency on a person can depend on the person's characteristics and experiences, the social and economic circumstances of the person and their community, and the availability of local resources. People can become more distressed if they see repeated images or hear repeated reports about the outbreak in the media. This is exactly what I'm saying. It's probably a good thing to distance yourself from the news a little bit. You know what I mean? Unless you can manage your reaction adequately enough where you can read something that's happening and see the numbers come in and see the increases and not be overwhelmed by it, I would recommend you distance yourself from the news.
I mean, I do agree, but the only problem with that is that people, quite rightly, you need to know if something changes with regards to the circumstances within your country. So you kind of need to at least have access to
access,
the
of
news,
course. We're just going to assume that everybody has access, but maybe it would be pertinent to not spend 24 hours glued to the news.
Yeah.
Maybe
absolutely.
check once every 24 hours if you want to keep up to date. I think
I'm going to say 12 hours.
Okay, fine, 12 hours. We'll say 12 hours is more reasonable.
Very, very pedantic.
Fine, whatever. Whatever, Chris. I felt like you just needed to do that. Just to do that.
There was a little bit of that.
That's all right. I'm okay with that. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't feel like I want to panic. I don't feel like I want to. If I need to go to the grocery store, should I even consider the idea of putting on a hazmat suit and doing all this? I don't think so. But if there
Amy,
is,
you don't own a hazmat suit.
I mean, I could get one.
Could you?
Yeah, from work. At the warehouse.
Could you?
Yes.
What for viruses?
We have PPE in the warehouse, personal protective equipment, and they're making sure that every warehouse has this shit. You know what I mean? Like, Shaw has been doing its due diligence to make sure that they're just getting enough sanitizer everywhere. They're getting all the sanitary wipes and all that stuff.
It makes sense for a company like that because they have to basically go into everybody's home or potentially go to everybody's home.
Can you imagine doing that job right now, being a technician? So on a good day, okay, technicians have told me some of the most horrific stories about the houses that they've gone into to install modems and cable and all that kind of stuff.
I bet.
Just fucking ew, Chris. Like, walking into people's houses and there's cigarette butts on the floor and the fucking carpet's gross. They have several animals. It smells like fucking hell. They have to go into crawl spaces and stuff sometimes to upgrade wire or whatever it is they need to do. And it's just horrific. Now imagine being in this situation where everybody is in this panic about this virus. And then you have to go into people's houses. And by the way, people don't care if they're sick. They need their internet. They need their cable. They want their upgrades. So they're not going to tell you they're sick. They're not going to be conscious of the fact that, hey, maybe I should wait until I'm feeling better to book an appointment to have a technician come into my home who I might put at risk not knowing what this cold or flu is because I need to upgrade my cable box. People don't care. And then you have to go into someone's house that you don't know, first of all, which is really fucking weird and creepy. And they're coughing all over the place. Oh, I came home from work. One of the texts told me earlier. Oh, I came home from work today because I wasn't feeling well. So I set up this appointment because I figured it would be a good time to get my shit upgraded. No, asshole. You came home sick and then you got a technician to come over to install your goddamn cable? Like, whoa, why? It's so inconsiderate. How could you fucking do that?
Yeah, like you said, people don't care though, do they? The people are generally very selfish and horrible.
Yeah, so look at this. Brian said, one of our techs went into a person's suite to do a service call. After the call, property manager calls the office and says he is pretty sure the owner was positive. Why would you tell us after the fact? Because people are selfish and they want to get their shit fixed, but they don't want to tell you that they're ill, so you won't fucking come and postpone that job. Putting other people at risk. Like, this is the kind of stupid shit that we have to fucking worry about. Other people being inconsiderate and calling over technicians. And we're at a point now where if you're even a little ill, we cannot afford to have you in the building getting everybody else sick. Like, at my science job, I can't go into work even with a little bit of symptoms because one of the girls is pregnant. I don't want her to get sick. You know what I mean? I don't even want to be a risk to her at all, no matter what the situation is. And obviously my boss doesn't want that. And he's susceptible to upper respiratory issues. So he's like, please stay home. But he'll come in with pneumonia though. Let's just mention that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm particularly susceptible to that sort of thing myself.
Yeah,
and
me too.
My wife just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I've tried to bring it up on numerous occasions, and they seem to think that that's me angling to actually have time off work. It's like, no, I know that I can avoid getting diseases.
Yeah.
But it's a lot more difficult if people just fucking come into work and have diseases.
Yeah, yeah.
Luckily, I don't really sit there most of the time.
Yeah, I don't want to sit here and be preoccupied with the idea that, oh God, I gotta go to the store, I'm gonna get the virus. But at the same time, I'm also not gonna walk out of my house if I'm coughing and not put a mask on so that other people are not protected from my shit if I need to get something that bad. And now I can get my groceries delivered. So why on earth would I even do it? And you know what? Like, every app you open now, everything you open, there's coronavirus warnings, how we're dealing with coronavirus. So these companies like Uber, Skip the Dishes, DoorDash, anybody who is coming to your house and delivering something, they have a procedure. I think last week I ordered something. I can't remember what I ordered. It was really yummy though. And like the way that the delivery the delivery guy dealt with it is he had his Skip the Dishes bag that had the food in it, right? And he was wearing gloves. He put the bag down, he unzipped the lid, and he had me grab my food. So he didn't even handle my food. He just let me pick it out of the bag and take it, and then he took his bag and walked off.
I mean, the irony is this is how we all should have been behaving anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as we heard about it.
No, I mean forever.
Oh, you think that people should just grab their... Yeah, maybe that is a good practice to do anyway.
It probably is. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, especially something as intimate as food.
Because
it's going to go in your mouth.
as you just pointed out, like not 5 minutes ago, flu kills a lot of people a year.
Yeah, it's very true.
That's how you get flu. Exactly like.
Yeah, you know... It's interesting to watch this. I think I can't remember who I said this to. I think I said it to Victoria yesterday. I'm like, can you imagine if we were getting up to the minute updates about the plague and how quickly it was spreading? Imagine being around during the aggression.
I actually don't think that the problem is that we can get information as easily as we can. I genuinely do believe that the problem is that the people delivering that information
right.
are doing it in such a way that it actually incites the panic.
Yes, I agree.
To a certain extent.
I'm just saying it's interesting as a concept to be able to see the numbers increasing. I'm not even saying that it's a problem that we're getting information. I'm just saying imagine we were able to see the way that
Did I tell you about the local newspaper here?
No.
So the local telecoms company. This was the headline. Local telecoms company KCOM issues warning about coronavirus. About service outages due to coronavirus. Right.
Yeah.
That was the headline. Clicked on the article.
Yeah.
And what it was an article about was that the telecoms company, KCOM, was saying there's no problem with us delivering service. If everybody's at home using the internet, we have capacity to deal with that. There was no warning. But the newspaper wanted it to be a warning, wanted it to be something for people to worry about. It's like, but you've literally just written the story that says that that they were saying there was no problem. Yeah. That's what the story was about. Why was your headline not? Here comes says that it has no worries about service delivery of if everybody works from home.
So
here, more eloquent than that.
Here in Surrey,
why not?
Here in Surrey, it was so funny. Like last week or a week and a half ago, somebody had put up an ad on Craigslist selling a roll of toilet paper for $100. Right? And this was an article, and it's so funny how I had seen that, and then I started laughing. My friend Victoria sent it to me. And then I'm looking on Reddit, and I'm seeing all these memes of like a little baggie with hand sanitizer in it, and it's like $50 per ounce or whatever.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it now. It might have actually been deleted off the my local village, the selling page.
Yeah.
On Facebook, somebody was selling a bottle of hand sanitizer for £100, but I think it's been deleted.
Yeah. That's so funny. It's worth its weight in gold.
Like I say, it sort of really isn't if you actually know how to make it yourself. You can still buy the ingredients. It's weird.
People who may respond more strongly to the stress of a crisis include people who have pre-existing mental health conditions, including problems with substance use. Wow, what is that?
I don't know.
That's over here on my end.
Yeah.
I think my fridge is angry. I don't know
why. Is that your fridge?
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like it's coming from that general area. I don't know what that is. That is a new noise that I am not acclimated to in this house. So if it becomes a problem, I guess that's going to be a thing.
If smoke starts pouring out of your fridge, baby, unplug it.
Okay. Free diamond ring. Look at that.
A roll of toilet paper for £5,000. That's 5 Canadian grand. So that's about 35 quid.
Here it comes. There it is. Like you know what, Chris? We've been friends for 3 years, and that joke has not died yet. When is it gonna die? Never.
Never.
No.
It's actually quite interesting. Well, the stock market's taken a pummeling, but the
so Tuesday was the day it crashed, right? Like it was like the biggest crash in a long time.
And I keep hearing this, but I've not really read anything specific. Didn't America pump $1.5 trillion into the economy that they've just found somewhere, and it made no difference at all? It just didn't help.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing it did help something. It helped somebody somewhere. Somebody got $1.5 trillion, but definitely wasn't me.
Yeah, it's funny, right? Everyone's like, oh, you know who's making a lot of money right now? The Johnson & Johnson family company who's selling Lysol and like all the PPE that companies are just scrambling to stock up on.
Everybody in the UK had to look up what Lysol was because we definitely don't have that here.
No, but you have something similar, right? Like an antimicrobial or antibacterial spray that you wipe surfaces down with? You must.
We have something called Dettol, which I'm guessing is very similar.
I bet it is. Go gadget disease control.
Dettol, yeah, Dettol. It's Dettol.
Yeah.
So we do have it here. It's just called something different.
As you would expect.
So it's Lysol when it comes in the bottle. If you add water to it, does it like turn white, like sort of a milky?
It actually comes. It's an aerosol spray, so it comes in a pressurized can. So I don't know about it turning milky.
Oh, right. That's before you dilute it, I guess. Probably. Or after you dilute. That's probably pre-diluted.
We don't do anything. So once I buy the spray, I don't do anything to it. I don't know what they do to it beforehand, but it's in an aerosol can.
Yeah, I'm sure you can buy Dettol spray here as well. Do I even have any? Probably not. People need to fucking calm down.
Yeah, you know what a really good listen is actually? That Joe Rogan Experience that you linked me in the Discord. I did listen to all of that, and I like that doctor, and I just felt like it was really informative, and telling people not to have a response is obviously unreasonable. Telling people to temper their response and just try and manage their response is actually very helpful to do. Learn about it, understand how the virus spreads, understand that yes, it is a risk. And again, nothing is urged more than just basic, like, hygienic practices. You know? If you are so concerned, just stay home. Distance yourself socially. Like, don't hang out in meat space. You know what I mean? Like, if you are so concerned, stay home. It's okay until it calms down and you feel better about it and you can go out in public, or until it calms down. But I don't know. I think it's definitely gonna get worse before it gets better. That's what that doctor said as well. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And we just need to, again, all I emphasize is just managing your reaction to the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's simply all you can do.
Don't make your reaction make the problem worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is, frankly, what people are doing currently, and it's fucking quite frustrating.
Yep. And I mean, the internet is a good way to keep up with the news, I think. But I think watching the news, watching CNN, watching Fox, watching all these fucking news channels that are just trying to churn out ratings and are blowing up the problem way bigger than it needs to be blown up, those are not the sources to go to. I would definitely just stick to the internet if I wanted to keep in touch with what is happening and the increases and the numbers. Screw CNN, screw Fox. I don't need 500 tickers telling me to panic while the lady on the screen is telling me to panic. You know,
if you really, really want to panic, I have a recommendation there. Watch some Tim Pool.
Yeah, no kidding. No
Fuck,
kidding.
He's gone off the deep end.
Yes, I subscribed to him a while ago because there's a video here or there that I'll check out. But I always do feel like it's just so overblown from him. Oh my God, nobody's taking this seriously. Nobody's doing this. Nobody's doing that. Italy's shut down. And it's like, you're making a big deal.
But then, it's like, but if you're really concerned, buy my prepping kit.
Of course.
Really, Tim? For fuck's sake.
Oh my God, doomsday preppers must be fucking laughing right now, right? They've been preparing for this for ages.
Yeah, I mean, they've probably been over-preparing for this, to be honest.
Of course. Again, unreasonable. And the extreme concern is going to yield extreme behaviors. Where are you going? What happened?
I'm shutting my window.
Oh, is it cold?
No, it's just noisy.
Oh, okay.
Somebody outside's doing something.
Yeah, what are they doing? They shouldn't even be outside. They should be, unless they're wearing a hazmat suit. I want to get that kind of mask that you have. That's so cool.
You have any idea where I live? There's like, if you go outside, you don't see anybody. Outside is probably as safe as inside. In fact, it definitely is. It's probably safer.
Yeah, Brian, they're prepared for the zombie apocalypse. Those guys are ready. You know, the stores were kind of dead yesterday, too. It was kind of weird. Like, I just felt like, I wonder if I could get away with just stealing something and walking out of the store, because there's nobody here and everybody just seems super concerned. Like, their eyes are bolting out of their head and they're super concerned looking. Just odd. These are strange times.
It might... That seems a bit strange. I've personally not seen that, but then again, I don't live 20 minutes away from Washington State.
Yeah, that's true. Would you be more concerned if you did?
Well, put it this way: in the county in which I live, there's been one case of it for about, I don't know, in a county about 400,000 people. One case in the past week.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And it hasn't gone up. In the city in which I work, there's been one case about 2 weeks ago, and that hasn't gone up either yet.
Yeah. Look at Brian. He's getting ready. Stocked up on
I've heard rumors about stuff, but nothing confirmed. And because it hasn't been confirmed, I'm assuming that the rumors were just hysterical rumors, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm seriously not concerned about rumors. I'm just going to... Whoa. Can you see the stream right now?
Can I see it?
Yeah.
Oh, I can, about 20 seconds behind what you're looking at.
This is crazy. Animate spread.
I'm going to say at this
Oh my
stage.
god, this
No.
is so cool. So
I tell you what, this is something I far prefer about Twitch. The delay on Twitch is maybe 2 or 3 seconds. On YouTube, it's like half a minute.
Yeah.
There we go. Now see the map.
This is so okay. I know it's kind of horrible to say it's cool, but I just really appreciate seeing the spread over time. Like they
Hang on a
had,
minute. I've seen this game. Have you ever played Plague Inc?
it's healthmap.org.
No,
Plague Inc.
yeah, I know. I know. There's an oldish game on phones called Plague Inc.
Oh, okay.
and it looks exactly like this. And you're controlling the spread of a outbreak of a plague.
That's real crazy. 141,401 confirmed cases. Okay. Oh, there's a couple in Australia that have popped up, and oh boy.
Yeah, Tom Hanks and his wife.
They got it in Australia?
They are in Australia.
Oh, they are in Australia. Okay.
Yeah, they're filming. Tom Hanks is filming an Elvis Presley biopic.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, this is very cool to see. So you know what this reminds me of? There's this really cool World War II map that I saw. I think it was during World War II when the missiles were the nuclear explosions were being tested, or it was something like that. They were showing the testing of nuclear bombs over time or something, and they like show like explosions all over the place. Maybe it wasn't the nuclear explosions. I can't remember, but I have it saved somewhere. And it's so cool. Like over time, you just see how many explosions are happening all over the place.
I think I've seen the map you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, super fun. So much excite. But that's interesting to see all of this stuff, like just to see over time how it spread, right? And it happened really quickly. So where does it start? It starts in November, right? No,
Yeah,
it started from January. On this map.
No, November. No, November is when it actually started.
Right. But this map is only from January. It starts in January. So I wonder.
I couldn't even tell you how accurate this map is, but it looks fairly accurate.
Yeah. Ah, shit.
There's a big red spot right underneath where you are.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the concern. For sure. Because that red dot looks like it goes over the border a little bit. So Washington State will certainly...
That's kind of why maps like this are sort of misleading. I mean, how many cases are actually in BC right now?
I don't know. Let's see. Cases of COVID in BC, Canada. I bet you I'm one of them. Just kidding. BC announces 11 new COVID-19 cases, including cluster of cases at hospital. Okay.
Oh, I wonder how that got passed on.
Joint statement on update on new and existing COVID-19 cases in BC. Look how stressed out these poor people look. As much as people hate leaders and they're like, fuck you. I really feel for these people. This is a challenging situation. Can you imagine being in front of the country and having to talk to people about something even you don't have an answer for and trying to calm them down? Like, what a job.
That's incredible. BC's actually done more tests for this than all of the United States has.
Yeah. We've got great shit going on over here. So Adrian Diggs, Minister of Health, and Dr. Bonnie Henry, BC's Provincial Health Officer, have issued the following joint statement regarding updates on the novel coronavirus response in British Columbia. We are announcing 7 new cases of COVID-19 for a total of 53 cases in British Columbia. The individuals are in the Vancouver, Coastal, and Fraser... Well, it's close to me. And Fraser...
You've got out-of-date information.
Yeah?
I'm on the BC Centre for Disease Control, which I'm guessing is your Centre for Disease Control. And you've got 64 cases now. So that's how much you can change in a day, because I'm assuming that's what you've got.
This is actually 2 days ago, 17 hours ago, 18 hours ago.
Oh, well, it's not travelling very fast at all.
No, so BC CDC.
It's bccdc.ca.
All right, COVID-19. I just want to see what is happening here. Latest case counts on novel corona. Novel.
Novel.
Can't even read, idiot. A new coronavirus, blah, 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 is causing respiratory infection, blah, blah, blah. 64 confirmed cases, including 4 individuals who have recovered, as indicated by the resolution of symptoms, followed by 2 successive negative test results 24 hours apart. 1 individual who has died. 6,326 individuals tested as of March 13th. That's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty impressed with that. Good job, Canada. Good job.
Canada has got a very effective, modern, developed public health system, and that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
It's way better than the United States.
Yeah. See,
obviously.
Brian has to be worried. I'm just a little bit worried about him too, because he has the same kind of job as a technician where he's going in and installing.
Hang on a minute. Is that because he's Chinese? That's racist, Amy.
Yeah, I'm super concerned because he's Chinese. But here's the other thing about him. He has like a fucking crazy immune system, man. Brian does not get sick.
Well, he'll be all right then.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. But I'm still going to be worried about him going and doing all that, going into fucking places and, In
the UK Northwest, so that Mickey Mouse. Good God, what's wrong with my brain? That says Mickey Mouse, clearly. It says that in the UK Northwest. It says that like Blackpool area, I guess. Because I'm in the Northeast. I'm sort of Hull area.
I'm assuming we'll get an answer at some point here.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a big delay. Huge. But I think, marijuana, cigarettes, and energy drinks the key to a long life. Well, I don't know if I can necessarily disagree with that.
Those things do not affect him. I give him shit all the time. Like, how on earth is it that you drink 3, by the way, not sugar-free, cans of Red Bull a day? Which, by the way, have 56 grams of sugar in each can of those.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch them with a barge pole. City Centre Manchester. That sounds like a place where diseases could spread quite quickly.
Oh, so quickly. Dude, I would suggest you move.
I live in the countryside.
That's got to be better, right? It's got to be a lot better to live in a obviously a less populated area. It just goes to follow. Fucking duh.
Like where you live, for instance. I won't be too specific, but I mean, a lot of Indians, so that's going to be bad.
Yeah. Trust me, I know.
Indians are filthy, no offense.
No, they are.
I mean, to be fair, I'm sure Canadian Indians are fine, but Indian Indians, that's good. Like I think I said this to you before. That's going to be an interesting one to see if it gets a hold in India, because they don't really have a very good public health system at all. So that'll be an interesting one.
They're street shitters. I mean, what do you expect is going to happen? If they don't get corona, they'll get cholera.
Pulling on the beach as we speak. Does he mean he's masturbating on the beach?
That's exactly what I thought when I read that too. I'm like, pulling. No, I mean, I'm assuming he means pulling onto the beach or pulling up to park. You filthy-minded individual.
If you park on a beach, you get stuck. I suppose it depends what car you've got. My car would get stuck.
I mean, I think you're being a little pedantic, but we can come to expect that from you.
Yeah, he probably means parking in front of the beach.
Yes, indeed.
Still on a road. That probably makes more sense.
And he's also in a car and texting at the same time, which is not good behavior, sir. You should not have your phone with you while you're driving.
But if he's on the beach, technically he's not on a public road, so he can text.
Okay, Chris.
I mean, you shouldn't be driving on a beach either.
Oh my gosh, stop. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable about the BC situation. I'm worried, but I'm not. Maybe I shouldn't say worried. I think worried is the incorrect term. I'm going to say I have adequate concern for the problem, and I'll do what I can to behave properly and make sure I don't spread or share anything that I think I may have. Other than that, I don't think I'm concerned. I'll be concerned the moment the government says, look, if you need to go out, you need to have a hazmat suit. And then I'm going to be like, well, if you want me to wear a hazmat suit, you better be sending me one, because nobody's going to have any.
The government's never going to say that, Amy.
I know. So what I'm saying is That's why I don't worry. Okay, bye, Brian.
Bye, Brian.
That's why I'm not worried.
On the beach in some places.
Daytona, New Smyrna. Is that Tim? I think it is.
What the fuck is a New Smyrna? It sounds like a fucking drink.
It's a beach in Florida.
In Florida? Oh, they ain't got any rules in Florida, have they?
I mean, it is the home of Florida Man, so...
I've got like a paint fumes mask. That's what my mask is too.
Yeah, those are so cool. I really want one just to have one of those. Wouldn't that be fun? Just to walk around in one of those? Probably not.
I've got one, and I can confirm that breathing in it isn't what I would call fun.
No, it's not comfortable. Even those N95 masks, because, I have like 10 of them here, obviously. I don't find them I should have fucking worn it for the stream. It would have been funny. I don't particularly find them pleasant to breathe in. I think they're awful.
I don't really think that's the point of them, is it?
Obviously not. They're for going into people's houses, or if you're going into crawl spaces just to not breathe in dust, right? It's a particulate mask.
Got a Monty Python reference in chat.
Who called me Tim?
Oh, I cannot believe that Amy got that.
Of course, I've seen that movie. Can you believe it? Yeah, that is definitely
Tim. I can't believe it.
Let's add you as a moderator. Hi, James. It's been a long time since we've seen you around. That's nice, right? When people just pop up out of nowhere that you haven't seen for so long. I definitely haven't seen him in a while. There's a lot of people I haven't seen around in quite some time. But I'm also not as active here as I used to be, just because I don't have time. And now, this is going to be my schedule until July, which, woo, I'm so excited! But still, this is life now.
And maybe even beyond July.
Well,
hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully. That would be ideal. But if not, I'm not super concerned about it, and I think I'm just gonna find something else to do. But I definitely want to travel. I think after this whole thing calms down, I would like to make a trip down to California. Yay!
Yeah, I probably wouldn't. I'd be interested to see how long it takes to calm down, but I would probably say give it a year.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.
Yeah, non-essential travel they're advising against, and frankly I'm gonna take that advice. Yeah. I'm really not interested.
Yeah, James, I probably wouldn't bother with Europe this year.
Yeah, don't go to Europe. Tinder has warnings about corona loving. That's fantastic. Good. You have to be aware, man. just
I mean,
fuck in the butt.
No, Amy, I don't think that's the problem.
I know. Forgive me for trying to bring light to a dark situation. Oh, you know what I was going to ask you, actually? Would you mind sending me links for full seasons of The Office? Because I want to download it. I restarted my Netflix membership yesterday again just for The Office, which is super stupid. I think I'm going to cancel it. I cancel it because I have SiriusXM now. I have Disney Plus. I have Amazon Prime Video. I have fucking Mixcloud. I have all these subscriptions, and I don't even watch that much TV or movies.
The thing is, with the Amazon Prime is totally worth it because I do watch the video quite a lot, but even when I don't, at least I've still got Amazon Prime, which I do use when I order stuff. So it's like, but Netflix, I find it very hard to justify. Yeah. But I might get Disney Plus just because it's cheap for the first year.
It's good. I like Disney Plus. They have the vault with all the old, and they have all the Star Wars, which I definitely need to watch. I need to watch all the.
Well, this is the thing, you see. I've got access to all these things anyway.
Yes, I know.
In fact, I've got access to versions of Star Wars that Disney won't show you. So.
Yeah. You would, you fucking dork.
The original theatrical release.
Oh, I love it.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Good. So I have to catch up on movies. There's this movie that everybody is talking about right now called Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler. It's like a really fucking dark, depressing, serious movie, and I need to sit down and watch it. You know what I mean?
What's it called?
Uncut Gems.
Sounds... Never heard of it.
No? Okay.
Yeah. I have not.
Buy that Disney goodness. Absolutely. Yeah, do that. I certainly advise towards Disney.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm particularly happy with helping Disney's fucking world domination plans, but...
I mean, why not? It's cute. It brings joy to people. What else?
I don't know. They spent quite a lot of time ruining Star Wars, for instance. That's a little bit galling. Yeah. What else did they ruin? They've ruined lots of things. And they continue to. But...
They ruin things like the new Star Wars stuff. Do you not like the new Star Wars stuff?
No.
No.
No, I do not approve.
Okay, fine. I think a lot of people who have like grown up with Star Wars don't appreciate the newer Star Wars stuff, and I think we were talking, I can't remember, I think I was talking to Tails about this too, but like creative endeavors are becoming more about accommodating political views as opposed to the creative aspect of the endeavor. So the creativity has to work around the political issues as opposed to the creative endeavor being first and foremost, and it just kind of takes away from the artistic expression of the people who are working to create something. You know what I mean? It really does. It's just not as fun when people are being placed into things simply for, oh, we need to make sure that this demographic is represented or this specific thing is represented.
Yeah, which in a nutshell was the problem that I had with the Star Wars films.
Right.
There was far too much political agenda shoved in there, and,
right.
And there was too much time spent on that and not enough time spent on, the actual story.
Yeah. Which is more important. And that's kind of why, like, comic books started suffering for a while and a lot of these things, because it's just like...
Well, not for a while. They're suffering even to this day, aren't they?
Even to this day.
I mean, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe has managed to dodge it largely, but then towards the sort of the end of the movie runs, you start to get shit like Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm. You didn't like Captain Marvel?
I didn't hate it quite like people, but the problem with it was, and it was a perfectly valid complaint, was that, again, it was all about the political agenda of the people that were making it, and it wasn't really, and it was less about the story being told.
As much as I did notice that aspect, I tried to shut my brain off towards it because I actually really wanted to enjoy that movie.
And same here, and I didn't I really think it was that. I didn't think it was terrible. It wasn't great, but it was fine. It was watchable.
I enjoyed it. I liked her in that movie. I know that she had a lot of stupid shit to say, but I liked her.
See, I didn't like her particularly, but if you isolate her from all of the shit that happened around the film, she was all right.
Yeah. That's exactly it. So I did isolate her from what was happening outside of the film. And I really enjoyed the film because of it. Because typically that kind of stuff would bother me. I don't like that. I like girl power rah when it's applicable. I don't like just girl power rah shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the uber feminism that's out there. I'm just not a fan of it. I don't like it. I just feel like it's fucking super synthetic cheerleady bullshit. And I'm not a fan. If you do something good, cool. If you do something bad, hold yourself accountable, and that's it.
I mean, I assume you saw those videos where the other Avengers stars reacted fairly honestly to what they thought about Brie Larson, and that was hilarious.
No, I did not see that.
There was loads of them, and they just don't like her. None of them seem to like her.
Well, she must not have been pleasant to work with on set, right? Because she was in that last.
Mm-hmm. That's the impression that I get. Don't know, could be completely wrong, could be mistaken.
Yeah. let's see here. Edit. Anyways, are we all...
Mickey Mouse agrees with you, Amy, but I can't remember what about. God
I know
damn
the
this
delay makes it super annoying to know what you're talking about. And it's also annoying to type out, oh, this thing that you said I agree with. It's like, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Are we corona'd out right now?
I think so, yeah. Okay. I mean, there's not an awful lot else to say about it at this stage. I think if you said, I'm sure there is more to say, but that's kind of the problem, is it? People are saying far too fucking much.
Yeah, like I said, everybody's talking about this, and even I was like, you know what, I kind of want to get in on it. It would be nice to have a conversation and just kind of air it out and talk about stuff, but maybe next time we can do something a little bit more fun, or we can do an
did you see that video of the Italians on lockdown singing into the street?
No, you actually just told me about that this morning. You should post the link in the chat, and then we can end it. But I'm still going to keep you on the phone with me.
I did post the link in the chat. It's there in the chat.
Oh, no, you posted it in our Discord chat, not in the chat.
Oh, what?
Yeah, do that. And then that's what we'll leave everybody with. There you go. Let me see.
There you go.
Wait. Let's pause that. Take it over here. Hey. Bum, bum, bum. Okay.
Viva la nostra cena, viva la nostra cena.
Women and technology.
I'm playing it. Women and technology. Shut up. Viva la nostra cena.
Oh yeah, I can't hear it, obviously. So at least the Italians are having fun with it.
Yeah. Having fun, I guess, in the best way you possibly can with this whole thing, right?
Well, when you're not allowed to leave the house, yeah, I suppose you've got to do something, haven't you?
That's it. It's kind of cool to see that everybody's just kind of singing into the corridor of the city.
There are other videos as well of Italians doing similar things in Rome and stuff.
Yeah. Bye, Tim. Okay, guys, thanks for coming by and hanging out. Chris and Amy out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.